Welcome back to Two Passing Time. I am your host, Maddie, and I'm with.
Happy.
And today we have a special guest, first time on the podcast, first time with us in the same room. Let's see, let this visitor or this guest introduce himself.
My name is Neo, also known as Two Focus.
Well, Two Focus slash Neo, can you give us a little bio about yourself? And what does Two Focus mean? And what do you do? And if you want to give your Instagram handler a shout out, do so. And also will be in the bio.
Well, yes, thank you for the opportunity for inviting me to this show. I actually listen to this show a lot. I'm inspired by the stories you guys bring on this show. And when you reached out for me to come out here, it really touched me. I was like, wow, I really got to come. Even though I stay in Tennessee, I said I really have to go down there and, do the show. But, yeah.
Before you continue, which story inspired you?
The one you did with Happy, that one, I really like that one.
Which one was that?
I don't remember the name, but,
What was the context?
I mean, it could be. There's so many of them.
No, the first one you did.
Oh, I don't remember the first one I did.
I shouldn't remember her own stuff. She was in it. But yeah, it was good though. It was good. I listened to a lot. The one you did with Rosine. But yeah.
The one I did with Rosine, that's a lot.
You did a lot. What was I
You
about to
stay
say?
in Tennessee? You had to come down here because you were inspired?
Yeah, I was inspired, so I had to be on the show. So, yeah. Like I said, you asked me what does Two Focus stand for?
Yeah.
Well, Two Focus stands for Two Focus. Like when you focus, like it's like something that you would say if you doing like photography, like focus. Like the lens is high focus, and like I'm focused on like two things right now. Like I do videos and pictures, so I'm like too focused. It's like a play on word, too focused. But yeah, I'm a photographer, travel photographer. I do wedding events, special events like engagements, stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you want to shout out your Instagram?
Yeah, my Instagram, if you guys want to follow my Instagram, is at 2focus_AP1.
And what does the AP stand for, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I don't remember. When I made it, I just wanted to differentiate myself from other accounts. So I just said, you know what?
Okay.
AP1.
That's nice.
But I haven't really came up with like a word that actually stand for that.
Would you say it has been a successful business?
From how far I came and I still got a long way to go, but I come from very far, and I've been doing this I've been doing it for a while, but I didn't start taking it serious until a year ago, and in that year I have done a lot, and I learned from a lot of experience. Yeah, I would say it's doing good right now. It's just very successful.
All right, that's nice. Okay, y'all heard it first here. Y'all can go follow him on the gram and book y'all some photos or videos. If y'all got a birthday coming up, y'all better hit him up.
He's also on Facebook and YouTube as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. And we'll also put his handler not just on our bio, but also on our Instagram page. So if you guys have not followed us there, make sure you do so. And just be there to keep track with us, because we are very unpredictable when we post and obviously when we upload a podcast as well these days. And I know with me graduating, I should have more free time, but obviously that's not the case. And I do apologize for going almost a whole month without giving you guys any contact. We are working on that. We're just having little hiccups in the background, but I got you guys. Just trust me a little bit more. Today's little kind of theme, we just gonna keep it light And I think really from what we have so far, we think the theme that fits it should be like my crazy life. You know, it's just like the stories that I seen earlier today. You just like, damn, okay, that's wow. And so, guys, we're excited. Let's get started. Me and Happy gonna take turn reading the stories because she found some as well that she thought was interested. So, Happy, you wanna go first?
Are you sure? Because the ones that I saw were a bit on the heavier side.
Okay.
I mean, we could start heavy and then kind of
Line
go
up.
on. Yeah. If that's alright. Yeah, I feel like that
That's
would be
fine.
best.
Or did you see the one MITH for planning to divorce my wife?
Mm-hmm.
You should start with that one.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Y'all heard the title. Let's go ahead and read. We've been married for 5 months. Me, 26 male. Her, 26 female. And ours is an arranged marriage. Prior to our marriage, my wife seemed like an introvert who didn't talk much, but she often appeared moody. I had my doubts, but we had a discussion where she assured me of her desire to marry me and started talking to me joyfully. This continued for about 4 to 5 months. However, after we got married, she completely changed overnight. She only spoke to me when there was a genuine need, and her behavior became distant. Then one night, about a week later, she confessed that she had been in love with someone else for the past 7 years and that they were still in love.
Whoa.
I was shocked and furious that she hadn't disclosed this before our marriage. In a panic, she twisted her words, claiming it was her friend's story and not her own.
No.
Being half asleep, I believed her. A few weeks later, I noticed her blushing while talking to someone on the phone. Their conversation was on the borderline of being inappropriate, and she seemed happier than she had ever been with me. After the call, she asked me to guess who she was talking to. I suggested it might be her friend, but I expressed my discomfort with the way they spoke. I asked her if I could meet him, but she gave a strange excuse, claiming that he was not a good person and it would be a waste of time for me to interact with him. Okay.
That's it?
Nope. She refuses to give me access to her phone, but one day, while using her laptop, I accidentally came across explicit messages between her and another man. These are recent messages. They were discussing meeting at a hotel room, and I remember she had gone out last weekend. When I confronted her about it, she accused me of invading her privacy and claimed that she no longer trusted me.
What?
I showed her the screenshot of the messages as proof, and in response, she threatened to harm herself using a heated kitchen utensil if I didn't delete it. I was scared and ran into the bathroom while she began banging on the door with my keyboard, which ended up breaking. Eventually, she made me agree to certain conditions and started blackmailing that she will injure herself if I don't agree and also will leave me. 1. I am not allowed to question her about anything from her past, even events that occurred prior to the current day. Essentially, I cannot ask her about anything other than what happened on the same day. 2. I am prohibited from touching her phone. 3. She locks away her personal belongings in a cupboard whenever she leaves the house. 4. I am not allowed to talk about her past with my parents or any relatives. This situation has taken a toll on me, and I'm constantly made to feel like the bad guy for breaching her privacy. My wife has now begun to complain to her family about her dissatisfaction with me on a daily basis. We don't have any physical intimacy, and I don't feel any remote interest from her. Recently, she suggested that I should contribute around 20% of my monthly income to cover her personal fun expenses, which I find to be a significant amount. While I don't mind supporting her financially, it hurts me that she shows no interest in being a wife or even a friend. I feel incredibly lonely. My typical daily routine starts with waking up around 8 a.m., preparing breakfast, as she usually wakes up around 10 a.m. after I leave for the office. I then head off to work at 9 a.m. and 9 a.m. and return home by around 7 p.m. After dinner, I usually spend my time watching videos on YouTube before going to bed, and the same routine repeats the next day. She shows no interest in engaging in conversations with me. She views me as a dull individual and constantly belittles me, claiming that unless I change, nobody would like me. She even suggests that I should start drinking alcohol and smoking, as she finds it enjoyable. However, I find fulfillment and joy in a different kind of lifestyle. During a recent trip to the mall, I took a photo of her. When she looked at it, she noticed that the angle wasn't flattering and proceeded to hit me in front of everyone. It was a hurtful experience, and though I almost cried, I managed to control my emotions. Such incidents occur almost every other day, and she has never once apologized or shown any empathy for her actions. Ooh, this is very long. I've reached a point where I believe I would be better off alone than staying with her, and I'm contemplating divorce. However, I fear that if I initiate the divorce process, she might harm herself. She has made it clear that she doesn't want anyone in my family to know about our issues, and she has threatened that she will end up in a hospital if she finds out that my family is aware of the situation. This seems like a subtle form of emotional blackmail. I'm at a crossroads in our relationship, wondering if it's too soon to consider ending it or if I should give it more time. Although she claims not to want a divorce, her actions indicate otherwise. She insists that for us to have a good life together, I need to change and become more broad-minded. She emphasizes particularly that I should not question her about the people she talks to. Edit. Let me add a few more things. Honey, this is not a few. Do I have any evidence that she had a boyfriend and is still in contact with him? Yes, I found a pen drive where she stored her memories with her boyfriend. I also had some screenshots that were synced to Google Drive. Even though I deleted them from my phone, these screenshots show their discussions about meeting up after our marriage. 2. Did she have a physical affair with him after our marriage? She claims they didn't, but I have lost complete trust in her. The last message I saw in one of the most recent chat was that her boyfriend decided to change his phone number as they got caught. I'm uncertain if she is still chatting with him, but I can say that she is having an emotional affair even though it is not physical. 3. Does her boyfriend have feelings for her? Most likely not. It seems he is only interested in using her physically. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked her to have sex according to their chat history after she marries someone else. He doesn't want to marry her. However, she is fully infatuated with him and believes he is suffering because he didn't get to marry her. Per her, my feelings deserve a middle finger. Ooh. Wow. Oh my goodness. 4. Did her family know about her boyfriend before our marriage? Yes, they were aware of her boyfriend prior to our marriage. 5. Why did she marry me? Her parents forced her into the marriage based on her chat history with her boyfriend, which I had no knowledge of before our marriage. 6. Why does she want to stay in the marriage? She doesn't want to hurt her father. Her father probably did not approve of her boyfriend, and ending the marriage now would bring societal pressure and possibly tarnish their family's reputation. I am quite certain she gives 0 Fs about me or my family. Do I have any feelings for her? No, I don't. But at one point I thought that her boyfriend abandoned her. Maybe she would change if given some time. I genuinely feel scared, not even joking, by her unpredictable outbursts, which can occur over trivial matters such as a bad photo, not providing her with more money, not being overly engaging with her family members. She's a psycho. Or not participating in activities she considers exciting. It's bewildering to witness the stark contrast between how she presents herself to others and how she treats me, akin to the character Chandramukhi, as if she is possessed. 8. Does she face any danger from her family if I divorce her? I hope not, as I know her parents and I don't believe they would resort to such actions. Okay, let me skip to 11. What will happen if I divorce her? I would definitely be much happier, but she would most likely face difficulties due to her conservative parents and her boyfriend's disinterest in her. What I plan to do? At this moment, I have decided not to confront her about the situation. This weekend, she will be going to her parents' place to attend her friend's wedding. Meanwhile, I plan to visit my own hometown, which is approximately 300 kilometers away from her hometown. During this time, I intend to reveal the truth to my parents. My mother already suspects that something is amiss, as she overheard a conversation between us during our stay at their place for a night. My mother also easily sensed that all is not well based on my facial expressions and tone of voice, as I am bad at hiding my mood. What do we think?
Woo, that was long. Before I start, I wish you had a camera so we could they could see our reaction. I was just, but
Are you offering to buy us a camera?
Man.
I'll contribute.
Happy contributing too.
Because they got to see the reaction people be making off these stories. But that story is crazy. The way I feel like you should have seen that coming before you even got into that marriage. The mood that she was giving, it was just not giving. You know what I'm saying? He should have just been nah. Especially when they force you to do like you say it was an arranged marriage.
Some arranged marriage comes out okay though.
But no, this one did not though. He should have seen it the way she was acting. She was acting all suspicious.
They've only been married for 5 months.
Yeah, you should have seen it. You should have seen that coming before you say yes. And then
But
now you're trying to get divorced, huh?
It was arranged.
That's what I'm saying. He should have never said yes. He should say no. I'm not doing that.
You don't have a choice.
What did you think?
She's a psychopath, honestly. She's crazy.
She's crazy.
Might be possessed, too.
You see, when you were reading it, the first episode of Suits came to mind. When it was go ahead and kill yourself.
And then the fact that she has to hide her stuff, he can't even see her stuff. That's crazy.
That's a big indication that she's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Yeah, you haven't seen this episode. Literally, this guy was like, "You're my dear friend. I can't live without you. I'm gonna kill myself if I can't live without you." And then he was like, "Go ahead and kill yourself, then." Oh. So that's the thought that came to my mind. I was like, "Ain't no way."
That was your answer to her?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would be like, "Go ahead, kill yourself, bro." I'm not condoning it, but this he's literally emotionally abusing him.
I feel like as a man, he should put his foot down. I'm not saying he should disrespect her, but why is he taking all that?
To the face?
No, I'm not saying that. Not Chris Brown. I'm not saying all that. I'm saying he should just, as a man, he should say hey, look, I'm not gonna go with this. If you don't trust me, if we can't live in the same house, I feel like he's making you more happy than I am. Why are you still with me?
Exactly.
Leave. Go. So I can be happy too. You know what I'm saying? But he's over here stressing. He can't even sleep at night. He's going through all that. And then he has to get up early to cook, and then she's still in bed. I was like, what? That's crazy.
You will never?
Could never be me.
I guess y'all both gonna be starving.
We're gonna die together.
There's no we're gonna die together. You work, she does not.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's even better for me.
Fast food, Chick-fil-A.
They got breakfast.
I'm like, I'll buy you grocery if you don't cook. That's on you.
That's you.
See, my issue with him is the fact that he's doing everything she's asking, especially when it comes to providing monetary needs. Like, why is he still paying for
her fun activities?
Yes, like, honey, if you want her to actually see that you're serious about everything, show her that you're displeased with her behavior, you have to take away that money. You have to, like, put your foot down, like Nia said. Probably stop funding her little activities or whatever. She probably using that money to go have fun with that little boy. And probably has other people that she out here talking to. So, get it together. And yes, do tell your parents. You should not be forced to stay in a... It's not even a relationship at this point. It's not a marriage either. So, let's get it together. Let's...
change the toxicity.
Yes. Don't let her run you over like that.
That was a hard story. Let's go with something a little lighter. Girlfriend of 9 years hit me from her Instagram stories. I am 24 male and I have been with my girlfriend, 24 female, since high school. We have had ups and downs in our relationship, but for the most part, we have been good. About 3 months ago, I noticed that she had her Instagram highlights removed. I didn't think much of it until recently, and I hadn't seen any stories on her profile since then either. I Googled what happens when I hide someone from my Instagram stories. The highlights will disappear and they won't be able to see the stories. So I asked her nicely if she had accidentally added me to the hide list. She said no. I had never had you on there. Okay, cool. I trust her. Until yesterday, when I went to her house, she put her phone down to give me a hug, and I noticed she had an Instagram story. I checked my phone, and it wasn't on my profile. I asked her about it again, but in a more serious tone, and she said she didn't know what was going on, and she had never had me on that list. She said I should log out and then log back in. I tried it, and it didn't work.
Wow, not gaslighting him. That's crazy.
I could tell she was more nervous. I just stayed at her house for 10 minutes talking about random things, and I left because I needed to cool off. We talked throughout the day yesterday like normal, but deep inside I knew something was up. I was going to ask her after I got out of work for her to check the hide list in front of me to make sure I was not there. Fortunately, I am now able to see her stories and highlight. The puzzle pieces fit together pretty well, and the day after I called her, I'm not able to see her stories. Should I still confront her about it? I'm not sure. I'm sure she's lying, but she will most likely deny it again. For the record, both of us have never looked through each other's phones since day one.
That's a problem.
Honestly, I hate this situation so much because this is a childish stuff. Thank you in advance. What you mean that's a problem? You will go through your...
No, I wouldn't say, like, the way that she's hiding the story from him. What's she doing that for? I mean, she's talking to someone. That's a problem. She don't want him to know. The fact that she's getting more, like, she's getting blown when he said, well, I can't see the story. And she's saying, oh, what you say, log out and log back in. Like, he's not stupid. Obviously, like, if he was on there, he would be able to see it.
Exactly.
So,
do you think she went in and, like, added him on there just so he could see
just
it?
so you can shut
And
up.
then... Oh.
You think later on she's going to remove him again?
Yeah.
But why she have to do that? That's childish, though. Like, if she got something to hide, like, just let him know, hey, it's not working out. I'm seeing somebody.
But 9
Call
years since high school? That's wild. They have grown up so much. And I feel like they probably don't fit anymore. It's probably time to part ways. Yeah.
Cut.
Before I said what I think, let's read the top vote comment on here, which was posted 22 hours ago. I just straight up asked her, I know you put me on the hide list and now removed me. Why did you put me on there? What were you hiding? If she comes up with an excuse like I accidentally put you on there, then know that is BS. If it was an accident, she would have looked at earlier, removed you from the list. Plus, how do you know you do that on accident? If she said that she didn't hide her stories from you and it must have been a bug, then that's also BS, because the stories wouldn't have been hidden for this long and now suddenly reappear. If she does anything but tell the truth, you can no longer trust her because she's doing something behind your back. And you said they grew up together for 9 years and didn't break up. I mean, I feel like after you date somebody for over 5 years and nothing good has came out of it, I think it's time for you to say your goodbyes.
Because at this point, they were, I think you said 24.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was 24 something.
Unless it's like for financial reasoning, man, I would understand. But
yeah. But y'all grew high school, like you're a different person in high school and you become a different person after high school because you're thrown in the real world. You're like getting to learn more about yourself as well. So I feel like two people, we see it all the time. Two people just grow apart, those in relationships, and they just, gotta part ways.
They just outgrew each other.
Yeah.
I think it's time to find somebody else.
Exactly. And the fact that he said it's like childish to go in her phone, I don't think it's childish, but that's just me. That's just my opinion.
Hey, if you're together, there's nothing to hide. Like, what are you hiding?
Exactly.
So,
like, show me your password.
Exactly. You should be able to go through your phone.
Like, you shouldn't even have to ask.
It should just be like, here.
Yeah.
It should be the day we got together, period. That was easy for me to remember.
Some people...
I mean, if you trust him, like, you wouldn't have to go through... Why would you have to go through? For what? Unless you find a reason, like, okay, let me go through his phone. Other than that, it's like, okay, there's no need. Same goes the other way.
The next story.
Maddie, you didn't tell us what you think.
Oh, I did not. I did. I just don't remember what I said, but I did.
Okay.
I mean, I think... What was the story about?
You've already forgotten what you just read.
Yes, because I already got out the story.
She hid him off of the stories.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust her after that because there's no reason. It's Instagram. So if I don't see it, obviously we have mutual friends who will see it and tell me about it.
Exactly.
So, like, what is the whole point?
If they're trustworthy, they would tell you. If they know you. Yeah,
but there's always that one. There's always that one friend.
That's true.
So it'd be like, hey, did you and so break up? Because, like, I don't know if you've seen her story, but it's looking a little sus,
Somebody else on there.
Yeah. Or even if they're strangers, for example, they've been together for 9 years, I'm pretty sure her friend group or her followers know who her boyfriend is,
Exactly.
If she ever tagged him or if he ever commented, hey, I love you too, babe, somebody's going to put the two and two together. And it's something out of the ordinary. Someone's going to be like, hey, did you and so break up, Like me, I'm nosy. Like, if one of my friends break up, suddenly, the picture of that girl or the guy is no longer on their profile, I'm going to swipe up like, what happened? Like, y'all been together for a very long time. What could this person possibly done for you to be like, forget you? I would want to know. Yeah, that's my opinion. Okay, the next story. Sent in my resignation letter, and now my boss wants to talk.
Talk about what? Promotion?
I don't think so.
I gave him my resignation letter after 6 years. I knew for months I had to make a departure. Without giving too many details, I work at a school. My reason for leaving was mainly the pay, among other grips. I work hourly and my pay has not increased in 3 years. My check has been the same exact amount since 2020. If I want more, I have to put in more hours, and they usually make you jump through hoops to get extra few hours. My job has also started to include tasks that aren't mine. I work in a teaching capacity, but I've also worked as an IT specialist, graphic designer, workshop host, and state exam administrator.
That's a lot.
I knew it was time to go when I started leaving work early and generally just became uninterested in my task. I felt overworked, used, and unappreciated. My supervisor would take weeks to respond to emails. Even then, he was of little assistance.
Wow.
So before I completely ruined my reputation and ethic as an employee, I decided to step away. Funny, when I requested more hours, he ignored my email for 2 weeks. I sent in my resignation letter and I get response in 48 hours. He wants to talk. About what? I don't know. Is it a trap?
Fire.
Do I talk to him in the event I need a future reference and to maintain professionalism? I'm 100% sure I won't go back, but what is the conversation for? I also didn't give a 2 weeks notice. My job is contractual, so I just didn't renew my contract. What you think?
What you think, Happy?
I mean, I don't be leaving jobs that easily. Nia, what do you think?
See, that's a question not to ask me because... See, this is why I don't do regular jobs. Like, it's just... I feel like if you work for yourself, you wouldn't have to go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, working for someone else, you got to do all this extra tasks just for you to get a raise. You said 3 years? She hasn't got a raise?
That's wild.
Yeah, no. That could not be me.
Aren't you supposed to get a raise every year?
6 months. I think it's 6 months.
Most jobs, but not all. He was a contract work, so...
So they basically work for themselves, kind of like for themselves?
No, they're there until their contract expires, or if the school decides, like, you know what, we don't need you. They just cancel the contract upright. No
That's
question
sick.
asked. Oh, I read something the other day, a couple weeks ago, which was like, why do we need to give a job 2 weeks notice when they want to fire you? They don't give you no notice at all.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
Like, you
It
just
doesn't
go
make
into work,
sense.
like, you know what, we no longer need you, and we just fire.
Yeah. Why don't
They
they
tell
just-
you right after your shift. Can I talk to you in my office?
Damn.
Why don't they tell you
Bye.
after, before you start working?
Exactly.
That
So
way
you
can
could
choose,
go.
be like,
You
I
could
don't know, I don't
leave.
want to work. I'll just leave.
Yeah. Like, don't do me like that because I will come in the next day and I will work. And you
They're not
will
gonna
pay
pay
me.
you.
You will pay me or I will sue. Because you would not do that to me. I did not come in, work, and then you decide to fire me. No, I'm going to get an extra day.
Wait, has this
I'ma
happened
come
to
in
you
early,
before
too.
or something?
No.
Oh, okay. 'Cause you seem like you're speaking from experience.
No.
Right, I was like, damn, Happy sounds very passionate about
Sounds
this.
sad. Like,
No. Have I been fired before?
yes.
Where?
What you mean, yes?
We work together, Matt. Do we work together at Ross? That Ross over
You
there?
worked at a different one. I haven't gotten fired.
Oh,
Have I?
I guess with someone else then.
No, Amazon.
How you get fired from there? Late?
I think one time I left early.
Just one
And
time.
then-
One time
And then they fire you?
we got in the parking lot and we decided we want to go work. I still have points to use. Literally, we're in the parking lot, which was like, you know what, screw this. We all just
Yeah.
left.
So I drove all the way, like 30 minutes to go to work
I drove an hour.
and decided not to, but, you know, I don't want to go in today.
Yeah.
Why don't you think about that before you left
We
the
were
house?
even walking towards the building, turn around, like, probably took 5 steps.
Yeah, we had like 5
That was
minutes before our
wild.
shift started. We were just like, no, let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
So how did you get fired? I want to know.
She used
I
up all her points.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. And then one time I just didn't, like, I overslept and I didn't go in. It was when I was doing a night shift.
hmm
I scheduled myself for a night shift and then I overslept. Didn't wake up until 7 in the morning.
Oh, forgot. You worked at Amazon twice.
3 times.
Oh, so you decided to go. You was off that day, right? And you chose to go in that. You're like, you know, I'll come in.
It was the part-time one
Oh, part
where
time.
you schedule yourself. Yes,
And
I
then you show
just
up.
I scheduled myself and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna put on my alarm and just sleep a little bit early. No, I didn't wake up until 7. The shift was over. I think that was the last straw.
Yeah.
The top comment, the only trap could be the suddenly offering you more money. That would be a trap. Do not take more money and stay because you are miserable and deserve your peace. You don't even have to answer any question. You can simply say, this job is not for me. You can also be honest, but I've noticed in reactive reactive places like this, yeah, places that do not do anything to help until last possible second. Being honest doesn't help. Just waste your time unless you want to vent, I guess. But Reddit's better for that.
Honestly, yeah. Like, if you're not happy in this job, and like they've already said they're unhappy, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. Get a new job. Find somewhere where you're actually gonna be happy.
Yeah, like,
and enjoy working there.
cause no amount of money, though, like, cause no matter how much they pay you, if you're doing a job that you don't like, you're still gonna be, you're still gonna be like, you're gonna be stressful every day, even though you're getting paid good. It's like just waking up to do another task, the same thing. If you don't find no enjoyment in it, I feel like you should just.
And I
leave.
hate when jobs just give you more tasks, but do not increase the pay.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden have more responsibilities,
That's a trap.
but the same pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't be training at Ross. Cause why are you asking me to train when it's not?
It's not coming with a pay. The pay's
exactly.
not going up.
That little 38 cents ain't gonna do nothing.
Leave it at 38 cents?
Don't. Yes.
That was
I was
50.
so upset. And he sounded like he was so happy. Like, oh my gosh, like, I'm giving you so much. No. Like, no. That's so crazy. The fact that they think it's funny.
At least put in $1.
Exactly. That'll motivate me. I'll probably show up early.
They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do that.
Put in 2 or 3.
38
Then definitely motivate me.
No, I'm going to be there 30 minutes early
You mean you'll be there on
for
time?
2 months. On time?
Yeah. Or 5 minutes before.
She'll leave late.
No, I'll leave early. Clock in early, leave early.
Leave
That's how it
late.
works. Nah.
She not putting no extra minute. I was fired
For the extra pay? You wouldn't do it?
No.
Gotta be at least 5. At least 5. I was fired from my job for putting in 2 weeks notice.
What? They can't do that. Well, actually, you was already leaving anyway, so it don't really
No,
matter.
but still.
You leaving.
They shouldn't be able to fire you.
Right.
You're putting in 2 weeks notice, meaning
You being nice. That's you being courteous. Like, you know what? I'm about to leave in 2 weeks, so guys, get your stuff together. because-
I'm giving you time to find another person to replace me.
but since they're firing you, it's like, oh, you just made my life easier. I'd be like, okay, cool.
No, sometimes you just want to work those 2 weeks just to
To
get
what?
that check, that last check.
Oh, yeah.
Probably put in extra hours. Not me though.
Have you ever put in 2 weeks notice? Oh, no, you see, you don't do that.
I just leave.
Happy you?
She get
Yeah, I
fired.
have.
She-
I
You did?
have put in 2 week notice. At Dunkin' I did it, and Route 21.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot you work at those places too.
yeah.
You're like Neil. Your resume is long.
No, it's not. Okay, these were. It was like after high school. Yeah.
I probably only had like 4 jobs in my lifetime.
Oh.
I haven't lived that long either.
And plus, I'm in a different city.
Right.
Remember?
And how many jobs were in Fredericksburg?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How old were you when you started working?
17.
17.
I started when I was 16.
16.
Yeah, I started after I graduated.
And how many have you had here?
1, 2.
3.
Not counting the Amazon. Oh, 3 now.
I mean, if you count in Amazon,
4.
those 6 at Fredericksburg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you also include
Oh, dang.
Burger King?
You was a Burger
I
King?
never worked at Burger King.
You got hired.
Okay.
She didn't go in.
I got paid for it, 2 days?
Orientation.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was a nice $50-some.
Oh.
Which Burger King was it? The one in Milwaukee?
Forest Hill.
Oh.
I worked as a cook. I have been struggling with a chef that brings their personal issues into the workplace. Drinking on the job, drug use on the job, etc. Many people understand where I'm coming from, and it's not that I'm a weak link, it's just a hectic workplace. I had a tough work day, and their lack of organization really had the day crumbling. And even though they weren't physically there, I spoke with another supervisor by needing to put my 2 weeks notice in. In the process of that, it was an introductory convo. I felt more comfortable with that person, and I was just saying that I was overwhelmed and coming down from being angry. And that the 2 weeks notice was more of a solution and giving a heads up that it was finally time for me to leave. I was told to speak to my chef directly. I plan to do that in person rather than by text when he was out of town and off for that day. I got a text in the middle of the night saying that he didn't need me. I was only allowed to talk to him first, and that I was fired and I was allowed to put in 2 weeks notice. Don't come in for my last paycheck. It will be mailed to me. So far, it's early in the day, and I reached out to another manager to say I wanted to talk about unexpected loss in income over 2 weeks. I'm not heartbroken that the job is gone, but any advice on weathering the storm? It's retaliation, and it's not really dealt with something like this before. Edit spelling. I was said, and this is in the comment below, I hadn't even put in 2 weeks notice yet. I wanted to put in 2 weeks notice. I hadn't formally gotten to that point. Hadn't even set a date to leave. I told a manager that I needed to leave the situation. The manager spoke to the owner of the restaurant, and in the middle of the night, the chef texted me, firing me, and saying I'm not allowed to pick up my paychecks. Update. I have no idea why this chef just texted to say, I assume you're coming in for your shift today.
What?
I never replied to the text, the middle of the night text where he fired me, so I'm deeply amazed and confused by whatever is happening here. The end.
Wait, how you fire somebody and expect them to come? That's wild. You gonna fire somebody and then ask them to come in? Was he high?
He did say he used some drugs, and
On the job is crazy. Drinking and using drugs while working? Oh my gosh. But that's crazy that they were just telling a manager, I feel like it's time for me to go. And then when the manager brings it up to the owner, they're like, oh, we don't need you. That's really weird. That is unprofessionalism.
yes, it is. But in most cases, they're not allowed to terminate you for wanting to leave the job.
Exactly.
That's against the law. You can sue somebody for that. I hope you do. Get yourself a nice paycheck. If I were you, I would not go in. I was like, you fired me. Find your own substitution.
Exactly.
Like,
Take a screenshot of those messages too.
like you say, you don't need me, so you don't need me to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's it.
That's weird. Wow.
Or just don't answer since they're mailing you a paycheck, or just go into work. For them expecting you going into work, we went to pick up your paycheck.
Just to be petty.
Just to be petty. Going in uniform
Because
and
the
everything.
chef was being petty too.
Yeah.
Uniform and everything. He looked so excited to see you. He's like,
Like, no. I'm just here to pick up my check.
it's like, pay me and I go.
In cash?
No.
Check.
Bruh.
Write a check. Cut the check.
Like, if you give me cash, I'll take it too.
Make
but
sure to add those 2 weeks in too.
No. If you're going to give me cash, I'll take it. And I'll come back. I'll be waiting for that mail. I'm like, you told me who to... I was like, I gave you cash. I don't remember this.
What cash?
Right?
I have no.
No recollection.
Mm-mm.
Do you have proof?
Ooh. Hopefully there's no cameras.
He's like, I got a twin.
You can't do that if she brought to court.
Doppelganger? There's people who looks like you in the world.
I don't think they can do that. They can't pay you cash. Because they got to pay taxes.
My brother-in-law called me the one who got away in his speech. And my husband is very hurt, and it is all my fault.
Wow.
What do you think of that Taito so far.
That's crazy. That's all I can say.
Mia, what would you do if, for example, Bernard be like, your wife is the woman that he loved, but she got away?
It's crazy. I look at him like, what kind of drugs have you been using?
Or if Justin, which is like,
Who, Justin?
yeah,
Or just like, I look, like what?
I love your wife. She was supposed to be mine. You got lucky. I was this late or something.
So you crazy, man.
Will y'all still be friends afterwards?
No. It's a wrap.
'Cause that's crazy.
What you mean it's a wrap? You gotta go past it if y'all friends.
Shit.
As a friend, you wouldn't even say something like that.
You wouldn't trust him near your wife
You
ever
wouldn't say
again?
it. No. I told my wife, hey, it's time to pack our bags. We gotta go. We out.
Are you gonna be like that guy
We
who
out.
just packed up and changed his number?
Yes. We out the country.
Yo.
You be like, hey, Mia, I'm about to come over, you know?
No. Stay away.
Come over where?
No one is home.
Be like, is your wife home? I can stop by real quick.
Oh.
It's my wife. Why you worried about her? What type of business y'all got going on?
No, for real.
Okay, let me read the story. I don't know what to do. I think I've done serious damage to my marriage before it even began. I met my husband through his brother Chris, who had a crush on me in college. I never was clingy or never acted on my feelings, and I never really allowed myself to get too close to him because I knew that my feelings were recuperated. Chris knew, however, I had a crush on him, or at least he felt it. He would always say that I was girlfriend material and how he wouldn't want to lead me on. He wanted to have fun before that. He would say this to others, but even once to me. On 2 occasions, he would text me that he had feelings for me, only to apologize later and retract his word. But on Christmas 4 years ago, he texted me that he was in love with me and he wanted to take me out on a date. He said he was done playing around and wanted a relationship. He was invited to New Year's Eve party that my then roommate and I had. He told me he wanted to talk to me then. When he came to the party, he had his brother with him. Chris spent the party going out of his way to ignore me, and later I saw him making out with my roommate, and they spent the night in her room. I decided there and then that I would drop it. Enough is enough. Next morning, he told me that he effed up. I effed up big time, yeah. And he apologized. During the party, I get to know his brother, who was the opposite of Chris. He was shy and hated attention, and he was just the best. And soon after, he asked me on a date. We are married now. Our wedding was last Wednesday. I want to make two things clear. I never went beyond a crush on Chris, and only after I felt for my husband that I understood what love is. He is everything to me, and I love him more than anything. I never told anyone about my crush, and when I met my husband, I didn't even tell him either. Chris wasn't happy. I was seeing his brother, and he's being cold towards me since. Even when it got serious between my husband and I. Chris held a speech on a rehearsal dinner, and he basically outed everything, ended with how he regretted not asking me out sooner, how he will always regret it. It was very awkward afterwards, and nobody talked, and on our wedding day, my husband did everything to act normal, and he made sure everything was as planned, but I could feel that he was hurt and angry. After the party, he asked me if I loved Chris, and if I dated him for that reason. If I dated him for that reason. So if she dated her husband because of Chris. I started crying because it was absolutely not true. We started dating, became friends, and I made sure it was him I wanted before committing. And I never loved anyone like I love my husband. I told him all of this and more, and I apologize so much for not telling him everything. In the beginning, I thought it was only my private matter, and I didn't feel the need to discuss it with a then stranger to me. When a relationship evolved, I just never thought Chris was relevant, and my crush seemed a silly thing. Now, it's back to bite me in the butt. My husband is very sad and barely talks to me. We're leaving for a honeymoon in 2 weeks. He barely speaks about it. The thing we both waited for with so much anticipation and longing. I don't know what to do. I can't turn back time, so I don't know what to do. Yeah, what is that thing when you mix words up? Is it dyslexia?
I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong like that one girl in the TikTok. Oh, I think it is dyslexia. Because she said ADHD.
Oh yeah, it's a it's a learning disorder characterized by difficulty reading.
I think I have that.
I think so. Like every now and then, like I'll skip words.
I will see the word but say something different. Like read it completely different.
Okay, let's go back to the story. What did y'all guys think of the story?
I think she should have told him. She should have spoke to him about it. Let him know what's up. Because it's almost like he was blindsided. And especially it being said at the rehearsal dinner.
I wonder if he proceeded to say it at the actual wedding.
Oh,
But no, the thing is, though, I feel like he's tripping, though. Like,
the
she's
husband?
No, he's tripping. Cause like,
No, you're being blindsided.
no, I'm not. Cause like, who's she with? She with
that's-
him, right?
Yeah.
So like, if she wanted
But
to be
she
with the
didn't
other
take the
guy, she
time
could
to
have been.
explain.
She could have been gone. Like, cause he had a crush. The other guy had a crush on her for a long time. And she said to him like, "I wanted you, only you." You know.
But she should have had a conversation with him.
Yeah, she should have brought it up. But even now, it still shouldn't matter though, cause like she's still with him though. Like if he would have saw him like her cheating on him, they'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. You know, I don't trust you because you're doing this behind my back. But like the whole time, until he found out what was happening, I feel like he should just act like nothing happened and just continue loving her. Like
Nah,
it is what
they
it
need a
is. He liked you, but I liked you. I liked you first. We're married. End of story. Whatever else going on, like tell him you're mine, and no, it's a no. Yes, I feel like he's tripping. Who you think is tripping, the girl or the boy?
I feel like the girl. I just feel like she needed to have a conversation, and her not having that conversation with him, he was blindsided by his own brother, and the brother is just wrong, messed up
Yeah,
for
that's
saying
messed
that.
yeah.
up. That's messed up.
That's wild.
You can't say that. That's messed up.
If he had approached the brother
Yeah.
privately, or at least approached them privately and be like, hey, this is what happened, then I feel like that would have been different than him announcing it like
In front of everybody.
yeah. So
He wouldn't have been as embarrassed because
yeah, but at the same time, I don't think it's the girl's problem either. I feel like
Exactly.
that's it's between brothers. At that
Yeah,
point.
that's family.
At that point, like, you know, the husband gonna approach the brother and be like, hey,
Right.
what you did is wrong, and like, and I don't feel comfortable you being around my wife
Exactly. That's what I'm
if
trying
you
to say.
still have feelings for her.
She's married.
I mean, the question is like,
I mean, she should have brought it up too. So
yeah, like, did the husband know?
I mean, the husband should have asked, like, you know, what is your previous relationship with, you know, my brother, since you invited him to your party and he's here. Like, how did y'all meet? What is the background story between y'all? The husband should also have asked, you know. If you had asked her and she never brought it up, then that's, you know, that's another thing. Be like, okay, I'd be like, okay, for example, you and so-and-so, y'all been friends for a good minute. Have you ever developed some feelings for him? Yeah. Top comment is, some people, family leaves me dumbfounded. I think your husband will be fine eventually, but I don't think he'll be fine with you spending time with his brother anytime soon, if ever. What is Sugar Honey Iced Tea do to do that to his own brother and his wife? I'm sorry you got that as a brother-in-law.
Dang. Yeah, he's petty, childish even. Because if you really cared about her and your brother, you wouldn't have said that.
This story is 10 days old.
How many stories are we doing?
And the title itself is crazy. My husband's best friend took his own life the day we got married.
Whoa. Is there a story? I need to know the story. Jealousy?
Edit. For all of those saying he was probably in love with my husband or myself, that's absolutely wasn't the case.
Are you sure?
There were things in his life that led him to this, but out of respect for him and his family, I don't want to disclose them.
Then why write it? We need to know why. What?
I just need to air my feelings to someone because I'm so confused and sad and angry, and I feel so guilty that I feel this way. My 30 female husband, 30 male, took his own life while we were getting married. We found out the next day as we landed aboard on our honeymoon. Little bit of background. We had a tiny wedding with just us and 11 close family members, and it was absolutely a beautiful day. So intimate and filled with love. We were so happy. We didn't have an evening reception. We just went home and finished packing for an early flight the next morning. We landed, and as soon as the phones were turned back on, we got the heartbreaking news. And then had a week aboard on honeymoon trying to process what had just happened, how and why, and so many unanswered questions. I tried my best to keep my husband's mind off of it most of the time, but it was really difficult for both of us. We reminisce about all the good things and funny stories we had. The guy didn't have a bad bone in his body. He was the most selfless, caring person we knew, and we would have given him anything he needed to have not made that decision that day and still be here with us. Just think about it. Gosh, anniversary is going to suck because y'all is going to be...
For real.
Every time your anniversary, damn. So died on this day. Oof. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. He helped us with anything and everything. He was a jack of all trades and could fix or build almost everything. I could never describe him in words how amazing he was in life. We found out more details from his wife when it happened. A 3-hour window the day we were married, when we would have been in our ceremony, having time alone, the two of us in our little convertible, and having photographers takes afterwards. I remember feeling during that time the happiest and most content I ever felt in my entire life. Now when I think about that time, my heart just breaks. I just feel so guilty for being so happy at a time, and he was in the worst place of his life. I also feel horrible, selfish person because I'm so mad with him. Doing that on a day that should have been his best friend, happiest day of his life. And it's forever tarnished. Every year, our wedding anniversary is the anniversary of his death. Forever bittersweet day. I don't know how to grieve. I've never lost someone so close. Luckily to have younger parents and grandparents, naturally, let alone by their own doing. I don't know how to process it. I want to be the best support for my husband. If this is how I'm feeling inside, I can't imagine how he is. I just feel like a dick for being mad at the best friend. I feel so guilty for having such happy memories of the day and feel so useless because I can't fix this for my husband. I hope this has made sense if you read to this point. Edit to add. I don't at all think he chose that particular day. I imagine he didn't consider at all what we were doing. I think it just got too much for him on that day and came to a head, so he chose to do it then and there.
Wow.
Now that I'm thinking about it, if he was the best friend of the husband, why wasn't he invited to the wedding?
And we got set up.
You said set up?
Yeah. How do you know he killed himself? Nobody witnessed it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, shouldn't he have been like the best man or something?
Right, that's what I'm saying. If that's your best friend, no, your feelings are valid, but at the same time, maybe you're the dick. Why didn't you invite your husband's best friend? Even though it was a small, intimate wedding with close families, why wasn't your best friend invited?
Because a best friend supposedly is kind of like family.
And if he was the jack of all things and fixing and was there for y'all and supporting everything, why wasn't he there the day y'all supposed to be happy? Or why didn't you know he was going through a hard time?
I mean, so many people go through things and they don't speak. Was that one actor that in Jumanji?
Kevin
Mrs.
Hart?
Doubtfire.
Oh.
The old Jumanji.
I
Oh,
haven't
the
seen
white
the
dude?
haven't seen the old Jumanji.
Oh, really? Girl,
I only
scary.
seen him with the one Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that one is lighthearted. The other one is I was scared for my life. But I feel like they say the people that are making other people's lives, making them laugh and all that, they're usually the ones that are
Going through the worst.
yeah. So I feel like if I don't know, but the wife, where was the wife? But it's hard. You can't be next to somebody 24/7, and you can't know every little thing that goes on in their heads. But I feel like it would have been best for him to voice his concern, communicate. Like, I'm going through this. I'm having a hard time. I've tried to fix it on my own, but
It's just not working.
yeah, it would have been good. Maybe he would have been alive a little bit longer.
Okay, I think we're coming up to our time and have time for one more story because I couldn't pass this story. I couldn't. My 37 male, my ex-wife, who is 30 female, is about to be homeless and has asked to live with me and my son.
Huh?
I'm not going to read the update until we talk about the story because the update is first. And I don't think the update will make sense if we haven't read the story.
Okay.
Well, buckle up, friends, because my life fever dream is about to get weird. I will be as brief as possible, but I am trying to figure out what to do here, which is why I am posting. Also, to preface, I'm leaning towards no, but I wanted to see if I was missing anything. And this is weird. Backstory. A brief backstory. 3 years ago, during COVID, my ex-wife, I'm not going to pronounce that name because Petunia cheated on me. We have one young son and have been married for 7 years. I tried to work things out, but her mom convinced her she cheated and because she was unhappy with me. It was a very high conflict divorce, and at first I made a few bad decisions. Trust, letting her have access to our joint bank account. I had a ton of false police allegations against me and CPS calls, so I put everything up to a camera. I walked with a body cam outdoors. I was utterly self-monitored to avoid allegations. A week after I put up the cameras, I called her and her family break into my house. Legally speaking, she had not get arrested because we're still married, but it does look bad in court. However, I took my lawyer's advice and the custody my state gives fathers. Fortunately for me, she fell in love with someone in a European country and handed away most of the rights to my son. Most as in, I got full custody, but she retained legal custody, i.e. she could put him out of school or get his medical records, etc. My lawyer said this protected me if we went back to court because she would probably win that before and that would look bad. 1 year later, she is getting divorced a second time and moving in with our mutual friend. The divorce happened about a month ago, and during this time, she has not attempted to visit my son. Side note here. My lawyer advised me to play it cool, don't antagonize, don't withhold our son. Also, he told me to buy a house. I am in a position to now, and set down roots to make it harder to take him away from me. Again, our divorce was a high conflict, and I was terrified she would try and take him from me. I am more than willing to allow her to see her son, and I want to, quote unquote, do, quote unquote, the right thing and let my son grow up happy. Honestly, that's all I care about. Her history says she's highly volatile, and I'm concerned. Current problem. Here's where I need advice. I don't want to bury the lease here, so the crux, is it crux? C-R-U-X?
Yeah, crooks.
Is that she wants to move in for a few weeks until her YouTube career takes off. I am not insane, so I do not have any confidence in said career. I also question her mental health for reason listed below. Reddit. What do? Our mutual friends, a couple with 3 children, grew tired of Petunia, and for a good reason. They assumed she would do the usual thing, get a job and get back on her feet. They also worked very hard and sometimes struggled to get by. So working 10 hours a day to come home to someone doing absolutely nothing is very discouraging. They gave her a deadline to get out, or they would involve legal matters. That deadline is in a few days, so Petunia has decided to call me and ask if she could live with me for a few weeks. Petunia joins some new age religion. There's a lot of details to share here, but I want to leave the tangible, manageable instead. I will link you over to the Atheism Society. She denies it by name, but outline, that's what she believes in. I'm religious, so I'm careful not to make fun of other religions, but it would not be sincere of me to do so. But it started with a tarot reading, which led to going on TikTok, and she believed that she is a starseed and an ancient alien who came to spread light to the world. It seemed like the mix of paganism, Buddhism, Buddhism, and other spiritual things mashed into one. Wow. I'm trying not to rant about reincarnation and talking with aliens here, so I've deleted many paragraphs of the issues I take with it. She thinks she is a chosen being, risen above the masses, and of course that plays strongly into the ego. Everyone internally wants to feel like they are unique, and believing you are some royal bloodline feeds into that. Right now, I am legitimately suspecting mental illness. Our mutual friends tells me that they don't recognize her anymore, and that she is being secretive and not letting them know what's happening. I'm a single dad with 100% custody and 0 support from the other parent. My dating life is also not looking up, but I have a promising career and we get by. I'm incredible fortunate in a lot of ways. I've been getting a ton of therapy for my codependent behaviors, and I don't need this. She tells me she will be homeless if I don't take her in. She is not speaking with her immediate family because she moved to another country. If I let her in, though, it would seriously affect my mental health. What the heck do I do? I'm leaning towards calling her bluff and letting her figure it out, though it appears she'll never get a job. Would the court hate that? I'm very uncomfortable with this position.
Let her be homeless.
Damn.
Yeah, she has two
She
choices.
gotta learn.
She needs to get a job, a real job. 'Cause
Exactly.
that YouTube things take years. So,
Wait a minute, did we all try YouTube?
Yeah,
How did that work out?
I
it
didn't
was
try.
fun.
Did you take? Oh yeah, you had a YouTube channel. How's that doing?
How is it doing?
How's it doing? Like you've been doing it for a while now. What's going on?
What do you mean I've been doing it?
2 years, ain't it?
Was?
What? Did you get a check from it or?
No.
It's coming.
It's coming.
LOL.
You know, consistency is key.
Yeah. But I feel like he should not get involved with her because I feel like since they've already taken it to court, it might complicate things even more.
And she would lie to the court that she was in an abusive situation.
She
So
would.
I feel like I wouldn't want to let her back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have already made a mess the first time we got divorced and I let you back in, nah,
Yeah.
too complicated for
crazy.
me. Update. I officially declined. I feel ... lighter.
Oh.
Like, wow, that's a ton of responsibility I don't have to have.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of you were like, wow, why would you even consider this? You're insane. Yes. I am a recovering codependent and I have a very difficult time setting boundaries and saying no. I feel strange even saying no, but now also I do feel much better, mad with power even. Anyway, she did not respond, but she did leave me on red. Thanks for the energy, guys. I appreciate you all. Edit. Getting a resounding absolutely not, which makes me feel a bit better. Honestly, I mean, I was leaning that way, but I also know that I'm deep in the forest and having an outsider perspective really helps. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go through and answer any question I see in an hour or so. Before we leave the story, let's see the top comment.
Hold on, this is totally off topic. Are these stories real or like just people writing for fun?
Most of them are real.
Oh, shit.
Like, but there's some you just come across and you're like, this is absolutely fake.
Wow.
Yeah, so most people come on here asking for like anonymous advice since nobody really know your real names or, you know, that's why people use different names, and sometimes the situation to change it up a little bit so it doesn't come like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are like really write about these, talk about these stories on podcasts and stuff like that. So there's a chance we'll get back.
To them,
Yeah. So you know,
That would suck.
hell yeah, can't imagine.
Oh, I heard you was talking about me on here.
Sure.
What do you mean?
Because I read one time, I was listening to a podcast, and the funny thing is, that story got back to the person who was it about, and they wrote on Reddit like, hey, they wanted to find that story. I was like, hey, they're talking about me. That's not exactly what happened.
Well, dang.
So they get their version of the story, and it was crazy. I was like, oh damn. Top comment, I wouldn't let her live with you. You said there were CPS calls and police allegation. Something happened with the joint bank account. Had to film your entire life for your safety? Hell no. That is not a good idea. Honestly, I'll call your lawyer and advise her on what she's trying to do. That you don't want to do it and see what he says to make the clear no. Get ahead of any threats now.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. That was fun. What did you feel? Your first podcast, your first Reddit?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed the stories, even though some of them were crazy. They were interesting though. They were interesting. I just hope they're not real. 'Cause especially the first one with the girlfriend. No, that was crazy.
Arranged marriage.
No, I can't do that.
It
God
happens.
forbid.
And no, Reddit is worldwide. It's not just like position in America.
Yeah, it sounded like it was.
Probably in a
out-
European country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's crazy. Can you imagine happy your parents setting you up with somebody?
Would you?
God forbid.
I would if you had
I'd
money.
probably run away.
Why?
Cause I want to be given I was given a choice for a reason. God gave me free will, so let me choose. If God lets me choose,
What if that was part
why
of
is
God's
a
plan?
human? What?
Like they pray about it and God said, yes, tell Happy to go marry this guy. Get married to this guy.
God, please come and tell me.
That was a sign. Like he even give you a sign, but you just blind. You don't see it. Like, no, I don't want him. I want him.
I'm like,
But God's like, no, you need to go with him. He's the one. It's like your parents are like, yeah, you need to marry him.
but God, do we see the same thing?
Right.
Like,
Right.
do we see the same thing?
See, look, we look on the outside. God looks on the inside.
I look on the inside too.
Me too.
I
You
do.
got X-ray eyes or something?
Yep.
I look
low-key
in the
what?
heart at the actions, behaviors.
Yeah, because those actions will not lie.
Mm-hmm.
Will not.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Any last minute comments y'all want to share?
No. But thanks, Neil, for coming.
No
Right.
problem.
Right.
Anytime,
I
just let me
appreciate
know.
you.
Anytime, anything to support, I'm always here.
Oh.
I mean, I'm always around whenever I'm traveling back and forth.
Okay.
We need money support.
Don't worry, Happy's working. We all working. Everybody's working.
We should do a GoFundMe account.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I don't think people would do that. Donate.
You never know.
I didn't know.
Oh.
People be dying left and right, and those GoFundMe accounts don't even get supported enough.
Not all of them. Some of them do.
Yeah, I don't have a name.
See, I used to think GoFundMe were just specifically for funerals.
No.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Every
You
time I
didn't
seen
see
it, it was always like,
ones-
oh, help so and so, they died, they need money for this. I never seen it for like, oh, help so and so for a wedding. Or for
Yo,
this.
did you see
So
that
it was just
GoFundMe
funerals.
account? There was this one guy who set a GoFundMe for soccer.
Soccer?
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's like, help me travel this place to go try out.
Do I know that person? I think I know that person. Do we know that
What?
person?
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. You guys stay blessed. Stay safe. To pass some time. Peace out.
Peace.